Well, greetings interwebs. Tonight we have an old recipe from the Kraft Foods cookbook called Taco Bake. And here to help me make it, you all love to see her come around. My sister Cynthia is back all the way from
Alabama.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, everybody.
This is her thing, so we'll let her talk you through it. We'll get going.
This is something I used to make for my kids when they were little. They loved it. I make it for my husband now. He loves it. And it is it's super simple. It's something we all know and love. Now, the only thing that we're kind of improvising is mac and cheese. We all love our mac and cheese. Somebody thought he had mac and cheese. This is shells and cheese. We're going to improvise, see how it turns out. I bet it still turns out okay. But this is really, really simple, and it is really inexpensive. And like I say, the kids love it, even the big kids.
Okay, so let's see what we're working with today. About a pound of hamburger meat. That's 2.5 pounds, so we're going to use just some. Taco seasoning, shredded Mexican cheese. Use regular mac and cheese. This is just what I happen to have in the cabinet. Chunky salsa, not your regular salsa. It'll be kind of runny. Get chunky because it's got, well, chunks. And 3/4 cup of sour cream. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, since we're going to be making macaroni, we'll get the water going or put a little oil so your macaroni doesn't stick together.
Okay, so when the water is boiling, we're going to start browning the meat. And again, only need about a pound, so I'm going to use about half of this. Okay, this has gotten nice and brown. I'm going to turn that off so I don't burn myself. We're going to drain this into a bowl. One thing you never want to do is drain grease into your pipes. They will clog your pipes. If you have a septic system, they will blow out your pipes.
Not to mention just the grease building up in your drain pipe under the sink until...
Put it back in the pan, turn the fire back on it. And this is where we're going to add our taco seasoning. So what we're going to do is put in the pack of seasoning.
You can't tear these.
And then we're going to use 2/3 cup of water to mix it into the meat. And we have a 1/3 measuring cup, so 2/3 is 2 times. All right, I'm going to turn this down as low as I can. We want it to simmer for about 5 minutes. And just mix it all together really well. And then again, just let the heat do its job. All right, and now remember, if you like what you're seeing, like and subscribe. All right, so now we've got our water boiling, so we're gonna open up our mac and cheese and go ahead and pour it in. Remember, before you pour your pasta in the boiling water, remove the cheese pack. Yes, I've learned that the hard way. So we're just going to put that in and give it a stir, let it come back up to a boil. And then once it comes back up to a boil, I'll turn it down a little bit so it don't boil over. And just let that cook. And it looks like our hamburger meat may be just about ready to turn off. It looks like it's absorbed all of that it's going to. So we'll set this to the side for just a minute and wait for the noodles to cook. One important step I almost forgot about is this is in fact a taco bake. We need to turn the oven on. So we're going to preheat to 400. And this actually should be heated up because gas does heat up pretty quick. So as soon as the noodles are done, we'll start composing this dish and get it put in. The sour cream. This is going to completely change the mac and cheese as you know it. You need 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to eyeball this one, but use 3/4 of a cup. That's about half. All right, that's about what we need of that. And then just stir it and mix it together. It makes it super creamy and it is really, really good. Okay, so now we're gonna compose. What you wanna do is get you a Pyrex. This is a good size. It's about an 8-inch, but it's deep. You want something that's got some sides to it. 8 to 9 inches is all you need. And oven safe. Please make sure it's oven safe. You're going to take half of your mac and cheese mixture and put in the bottom. And then spread that around. Then we're going to take our hamburger meat that we've got browned and seasoned. Put it on top of that. And you're starting to be able to see why you need something with deep sides.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we've got the hamburger meat on top of that. Next, we need shredded cheese. Next step. Hal gets these mega bags because, you know, he's pretty cheesy. We've already discussed this.
Oh, golly, you're killing me.
But you're going to want to use
as much as you can.
This one you can get a little bit liberal, just not too liberal. It calls for a cup. I usually end up with about 1.5 cups, but just spread it on there. You know, try to get it even, but get it on there pretty well. Okay, now what you want to do is put the rest of your mac and cheese on top. This one you kind of have to be careful because then you'll start moving your cheese around. Just kind of spread it on top. Okay, once you've got a good little layer of that going on, like I said, it don't have to be all the way around, just you don't want to have to move your cheese, your shredded cheese around. Not yet. Now what we do with this, you want to cover it. You can use aluminum foil, that's what I do at home. And put it in the oven and bake for 15 minutes.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, so we're going to leave the oven on because it's going to be going back in. But you can see it is already looking pretty scrumptious. All right, so what we're going to do now, very carefully, please be careful. Always, when you take a lid off of anything hot, always open it away from your hand to prevent steam burns. There's a nice little tip. And we have salsa, chunky salsa, so that it sits on top very nicely. Just pour that on. Try not to make too much of a mess.
That I've got to clean up later.
And you can take a spoon, if you'll hand me that. Yeah, that's good.
My favorite spoon.
Da, 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 da. And just kind of spread that around a little bit. You want it kind of thick, but not too thick. Your taste buds will dictate whether you use mild salsa. I think we've got a medium here, which is what I prefer myself because it's got just a touch of a kick.
Yeah, I like mine hot enough to notice, but not so hot that it hurts.
Exactly. And then we're going to take some more cheese Because, hey, you can never have too much cheese. And then we're going to leave this uncovered and put it back in the oven for about 5 minutes or until the cheese is nice and melted.
And yeah, brown a little.
There it is. Cool. Come on. Come on. Hit the floor anyway. That's not in there. That's good.
5 minutes later.
All right, so it's been in for 5 minutes. So we're gonna check it, see how it looks, see if it's ready to come out. Oh yeah, we got some ooey gooey goodness going on here. That is a thing of beauty, y'all.
Go.
Okay, now that we've got it out of the oven, you can see it's still bubbling from the heat of the oven, so it's still cooking. What you want to do is let it sit for about 5 minutes, let that calm down. That way it comes out in a better solid piece. And one other thing that you can do, is not something I do, but if you want a little more texture, you can crunch up some nacho chips on top and add that in as you're cooking it. It's just not something I personally do.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we've let it sit for about 5 minutes now, so let's see what kind of ooey gooey goodness we have here. Oh yeah, it's good and firm. That's what you want to feel. Just get a good little scoop up here. And I know how good this is, but I don't think my guinea pig over here has tried this before. So, let him be the judge of this. Okay, guinea pig.
Yeah, let's see what delights come from Alabama. Holy cow, that's hot.
Go figure, it's hot. Just came out of a 400-degree oven.
Basically, nachos. You ever had nachos? This is like nachos with
Pasta.
macaroni. Yeah. I can see where putting crunching up chips on top would be pretty awesome. Well,
I'm guessing, just like his channel, it's a like.
wow. Okay. Well, on that happy and very delicious note, be seeing you.